So are nurses and doctors exempted from this new rule about not being able to bring dependents to the UK, which is starting next year spring? Does this new policy only apply to those coming as care workers and senior carers? Here are the details, okay? Stop that. Hi guys, so as you all know, the UK government is trying to cut on legal migration, and recently they just announced this new policy that if you're coming to the UK under health and care worker visa, you'll not be allowed to bring your dependents along.
The first of our 5 points will be to end the abuse of the health and care visa. We will stop overseas care workers from bringing family dependents.
People are saying that nurses are exempt, doctors are exempt. This only applies to carers and those coming as care assistants and senior care assistants, right? So there's a bit of confusion there. So let me say that usually when we say health and care worker visa holders or people under the health and care worker visa scheme or whatever, doctors are inclusive, nurses are inclusive, care assistants are inclusive, senior carers are inclusive, those coming as physiotherapists are inclusive, occupational therapists, speech and language, medical laboratory, all those people are under the health and care worker visa category, okay? So if you're coming with a health and care worker visa, which is under the skilled worker visa, okay? So if only you're coming to work in the health sector in the UK, you're eligible for a health and care worker visa, right? And when the new Home Secretary was talking in Parliament, listen to his words carefully, okay? This is what he said.
The first of our 5 points will be to end the abuse of the health and care visa. The first of our 5 points will be to end the abuse of the health and care visa.
So he said that they're going to stop the abuse of the health and care worker visa, okay? Because he said health and care worker visa, it's only normal for most people to think that nurses are inclusive, doctors are inclusive, you know, because we all fall under the health and care worker visa category, right? Okay. And then when the chair of the Health and Social Care Committee was also speaking, he also used the word health and care worker visa, right? Let's listen to that.
If we're saying that we want to just reduce immigration, and even the opposition are saying that as well, okay, there's an intellectual argument there, but you then have to be honest with people. You have to be honest about the implications that will have for the health and care sector.
He mentioned health and care system. Usually, when they say health and care, they are referring to all of us. Also, when they say care workers, that means although we are all in the care sector, usually when they mention care workers, if you've realized, then they're talking about those coming as carers and care assistants, blah, blah, blah. Okay. However, there's been an update. Okay. There's been an update from NHS employers. So if you check there, NHS employers, there's been an update. They have come to clarify a few things. Okay. And I realized that people even mentioned it in the comment section. This is what they're saying. If this publication is anything to go by, then it means that doctors and nurses are not inclusive. It's only going to affect those coming as carers and senior care assistants. Okay, so let me read it. This is what they have written. This was published on the 5th of December 2023, and I'm filming this on the 6th of December. Okay, so they said that on the 4th of December 2023, the UK government announced changes to the immigration system that will take effect from spring of 2024. In response, we have pulled together a brief of frequently asked questions below. Okay, so details of the changes to the immigration system can be found on, then they gave a link. I'll include that link in the description. Okay, it says the changes being made to the health and care visa route will only affect the care sector. So are they talking about care homes alone? Let's read further. It says when the changes take effect, care workers and senior workers will be unable to. So here they were specific. They said care workers and senior care workers will be unable to bring dependents when they migrate to the UK, and only CQC registered providers in England will be able to sponsor health and care visa applicants. Okay, so these changes do not affect the NHS. So it looks like it doesn't affect the NHS. It's only affecting the private, care homes and those coming to work as domiciliary carers and blah blah blah. Because honestly, if you think about it, this could be it. Why am I saying this? I'm saying that because you realize that the abuse actually became very severe when they introduced this care worker visa, where they were allowing people to come and work as carers. That's when the abuse really became massive, where people were selling COS and all that. And This was usually because of because a lot of people had their own private care homes and then they were able to sell their COS, blah, blah, blah. Okay. So now, if you're a private person, you should be regulated by CQC before you're able to issue a certificate of sponsorship. So no more selling of the certificate of sponsorship illegally. And now they are saying that it's not going to affect the NHS. And this NHS employers is a legit website, obviously, and they are quite confident with what they are saying, that this is not going to affect the NHS. It's only going to affect the care sector, meaning carers and care assistants. Okay. So let me take that part again. It says, when the changes take effect, care workers and senior care workers will be unable to bring dependents when they migrate to the UK, and only CQC registered providers in England will be able to sponsor health and care visa applicants. These changes do not affect the NHS. Okay, so other changes such as the increase in salary thresholds do not apply to the health and care worker visa routes. That one we already know. Okay, then the next paragraph, it says the government stated that it will ask the Migration Advisory Committee to review replacing the shortage occupation list with an immigration salary list with reduced occupations, and also review the graduate visa route. That we know. Okay, it says the government has reassured us that whilst it is determined to reduce net migration, it understands the importance of internationally educated health and care workers. We understand that these changes are likely to result in a number of questions, especially for internationally educated staff and those working on international recruitment. So these are a couple of questions. Somebody's asking that, can I bring my family? And they are saying that there are no changes to this policy on dependents for NHS staff. But then again, I'm also asking, does this mean that nurses that are coming to work in care homes and other private sectors, like private hospitals, cannot bring their dependents? Because now they are saying this does not apply to NHS staff. So it's a bit unclear here, okay? But obviously, I'm sure if they made inquiry to the government for clarification, the government probably only explained what pertains to NHS staff to them. I'm just thinking. So now they are sure, and they are saying that there are no changes to this policy on dependents for NHS staff. You will be able to bring your partner and children as your dependent if they are eligible. A dependent partner or child is any of the following: your husband, your wife, your civil partner, or unmarried partner. Your child under 18, including if they were born in the UK during your stay, and your child over 18 if they are currently in the UK as your dependent. You will still need to provide evidence of a relationship to your dependent when you apply for their visa. Then there's another question saying, my dependents are already in the UK. Will they be able to stay? And the answer is yes. There are no changes to the eligibility of dependents for NHS staff. And they keep saying NHS staff. Okay. Then the next question is, when will these changes take effect? And the answer is, we expect changes to take effect in spring of 2024. We will provide an update when we have more information. Okay. So they are expecting it. They didn't say they are waiting for approval from government or whatever. They're saying they're expecting it to start from spring of 2024. Okay. Then the next one is, I have a job offer and some of these changes will affect my plans. What should I do? The answer to this question was, if you are being recruited to an NHS role, there should be no changes to your current offer. So that means those who have gotten job offers from non-NHS roles, there could be changes if this is anything to go by. Okay, so someone says, can I come to the UK sooner so that I'm not affected by these changes? And they said, if you are being recruited by NHS role, there should be no changes to your current offer. Your agency or employer should be able to advise you when you might expect to start work, but these changes will not affect your current offer. Then the last question says, where can care workers and organizations that support care workers find more information on how this affects them? Then they said, this Q&A is for NHS staff only. We hope to provide a link to advice for care workers shortly. So this is a legit website for NHS employers that I believe, right? So they are saying that with regards to NHS staff, okay, these rules does not come close. These rules does not come close. You are still not allowed to pay the immigration health surcharge. You can still come with your dependent family, whether you are here already or you're planning to bring them later or you're yet to come. This will not affect NHS staff. And the publication kept referring to NHS staff. So I'm asking, are nurses who are coming to work in care homes not going to be able to bring their dependents? What about carers that are coming to work in NHS? Does that mean for them they can bring this? Because there's some carers that were lucky and they are working in NHS as band 3 and band 4. So will they be able to bring their family? So this is very unclear, but like I said, it's very possible. And let me also add that even if nurses and doctors and other people in the health sector can bring their dependents, but care workers or senior care assistants cannot bring their dependents, that is still not fair. nurses and doctors are not better human beings than the carers? Why can't we? We are all caring. Why can't we all work 12-hour shifts? We are all helping the NHS. Why can some category of professionals be able to bring their dependents, but some category cannot? That is very unfair. Because there are genuine people here who are coming as carers and senior care workers who are not paying for COS, who are genuine people coming to care and coming with their genuine children and their genuine partners, and this treatment is unfair. So whether nurses are included or doctors are not included or whatever, this is still not fair. And they are facing a lot of backlash already from even some locals. So let's see what happens. But knowing the British people and knowing that with this current party in office, they promised to cut down migration, and election is coming soon and they've not been able to do that. So they are trying to do everything possible to cut migration before election. So let's see. So I agree to people who are in the comment section saying it's political. We don't know yet. So now, if you have a job offer from NHS, you are exempt. But then again, our carers are coming to work for NHS exempt. It's still confusing. But when these things happen, when these new policies are announced, the longer it takes, the clearer it becomes, because there will be more interviews granted, more publications, and then now it will be well explained on the gov.uk website so you can understand this better. Okay, so all links mentioned will be in the description below. Okay, so you can read for yourself. If we get any further clarification, I would come and update you. So guys, kindly click the like button and the notification bell so that if there's any updates on this topic, I'll come to you. I'm saying that if you are planning on coming to the UK, do not let this stop you. Still go ahead. We don't know what's going to happen in the future. But for now, if you're coming to work in the NHS, you are exempt based on this publication. Thank you. Bye.